I've never really been a fan of puzzles. Crosswords? Meh. Sudoku? Not my thing. But musical puzzles? That's a different story. There's something magical about weaving a piece of music that follows a secret logic, a deep, invisible pattern, while still sounding like real music, while still having something emotional to say. Music that speaks to both the head and heart at the same time. These musical puzzles first appeared around 1300, not long after Western musical notation itself was invented. The thing is, it's not hard to come up with any old notes that obey the self-imposed rules of the puzzle. The art is coming up with notes that obey all the rules, and the piece still stands on its own as music, still has something emotional to say, so that even if you don't know that a puzzle lurks beneath its musical surface, it's still worth listening to. J.S. Bach is generally regarded as the grand master of this art, writing musical puzzles that simultaneously make your head spin and your heart ache. This is the only portrait of Bach that has survived which we're sure is authentically him. In it, he's holding a piece of music. And what might it be? Wait, it's one of his musical puzzles. It's his triplex canon in 6 voices, the musical equivalent of playing 6 chess games simultaneously, blindfolded, while solving a Rubik's Cube with your toes. Don't worry, we're not going to go into it. Bach was far from the only one to invent musical puzzles. Others include Mozart and Haydn, 20th century voices like Stravinsky and Shostakovich, and living composers like Steve Reich and Arvo Pärt. And me! I've tried my hand at it too. My musical puzzle was inspired by ambigrams. I first encountered ambigrams in Dan Brown's Angels and Demons. You'll recall the peculiar way of writing Illuminati that reads the same right side up and upside down? I thought this was really great. So I had an ambigram created for the name Grailheart, which I used to introduce my videos. And then I thought, why not a musical ambigram? This is a little like asking, what if Escher wrote music, the musical equivalent of his famous drawing of a hand drawing a hand? That's the idea of a musical ambigram. You can play it right side up, or rotate the entire score 180 degrees and you get the same music. It's a little like a musical mandala, a mandala in sound as well as sight. I've titled my musical ambigram, As Above, So Also Below. This was a motto of the medieval alchemists. They thought that what's in the heavens is reflected on earth, and that what's hidden mirrors what's revealed. So this motto echoes the paradoxical nature of the cosmos in general. Here's the 2-page score for As Above, So Also Below. Now let's rotate it 180 degrees. It's the same music. So, without further ado, here's the whole piece. The world of musical puzzles is strange and beautiful. At their best, they're a marvelous joining of head and heart. I'd be delighted to explore more like this with you if that's something you'd enjoy. Just let me know. Meanwhile, thanks for listening, and I look forward to continuing our Grail Heart journey together, exploring the marvelous mystery of being human and living in the luminous paradox of this unfathomable universe.